Hi guys, it's the Martini Drafter here today, and today we're going to be going through our Week 3 match of the Glowpoke division in Noob Draft League. So, before I actually go through the opponent's team, I just need to make something clear. We have made a few trades this week. If you didn't see the community post, we have traded our Mega Pidgeot, our Heatran, and our Hydrapple, and we've picked up Ogerpon Hearthflame, Mega Absol, who I love, and Celesteela. So we've got a lot more offensive power. It's just those three were not doing anything. Heatran's quad weakness was really dragging it down, especially since ground's such a common typing in coverage. Plus, the fact it's not even very good defensively in terms of typing anyway. Steel's a really good typing, but with fire, it's just not that good. Then we have Pidgeot, who was really bad because it had to run a Megastone, and I needed to run Heavy Duty Boots Defog on that thing to really get rid of stuff, and it's just causing me more issues than it's worth. And finally, we have picked up, we've ended up dropping Hydrapple, because as you saw in Week 2, it didn't do too much. Yeah, we won Week 2, spoilers for that one, by the way, but either way, yeah, it was a good win, but it wasn't down to Hydrapple, really. Hydrapple didn't do really anything. Let's get into Week 2, this Week 3 match now. Against the Gallade Guardians, coached by Nightwing J. Our opponent is running a bit of a Snow team or a bit of a Trick Room team. You'll probably be able to tell why they're running Trick Room, probably be able to tell why they're running Snow. They could have a bit of rain in there. They've got a lot of weird things they can do. So let's start this off with Volcanion, who is very similar to Heatran, actually. Just has a better typing and moves and everything. Volcanion is scary, I'd say, but I don't think it's going to be... I think it'll come, this game. I just don't think it's going to do too much. I think it's more so going to be here just to blast something away and then die. I think that's more so what its role is going to be. I don't think it's going to be a power play this game. Next up is our Guerrilla Tactics Darmanitan, which I'm really looking forward to fighting. Completely sarcastic. No, I'm not. That thing is basically could run 2 choice bands or a choice band and a choice scarf. That thing is going to be a menace. It could very easily pick up a kill. We've got Pokemon that can outspeed one shot. We've got Pokemon that can underspeed in one shot if Trick Room is up. And yeah, it's going to be a pain to deal with. But when it's gone, it's gone. It takes a hit, it's done. It'll probably only hit the field once or twice anyway. Next up, we have got our Pokemon that I'm not looking forward to fighting, even less so than Darmanitan. Not because it's a major threat, but because it's annoying. Being Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is extremely bulky with Eviolite, as you all know. Potentially even better than Porygon Z, because bulky. It's really good in doubles, so to see it in singles for the first time ever is a bit worrying. But from the other matches I've seen, that thing's either there to set up Trick Room for Glastrier, or, namely, to set up just Thunder Waves, Tri-Attacks, just generally be a pain. I don't think it's coming this game unless they're going Trick Room. If I see that, they will be running Trick Room, and we will change lead appropriately. I don't actually think this will come. I think they're running Snub against us, not Trick Room. Spoiler warning there. The next Pokemon is Mega Pinsir. You might look at Mega Pinsir and think, oh, it's just a bug. It's fine. It's not. That thing has won them their first 2 matches this season against Big Stall TC, who is a friend of mine, and someone else. I can't quite remember who it was. I think it was someone. I can't remember. I know this thing runs Swords Dance, it runs Quick Attack, it runs Return. We've got more notes on it on the next slide, but this thing is going to be a very big power player, more than likely. It's going to be an issue. And if I do not keep this thing in check, we could be in for a really bad time against it. Next, we've got Glowking. Glowking is pretty okay into us. We've got a lot of coverage to deal with it, especially physically, because that thing cannot tank physical moves as well to tank special moves. It really just causes problems because it's tanky. It's probably not doing much. It might set up Trick Room. I think it will come to set up Snow with the move that it uses. I cannot remember what it's called off the top of my head. I know it's a bad joke or something. Chilly reception, that's what it's called. Sorry. It's going to be an issue if it comes, and I think it will. But I don't think it's going to be an overly big power play of this game. I think it's going to be Snow Setter, and then it's just going to die the second time it comes in. Celebi. Celebi is a Z captain, so obviously it's a worry, but I don't think it's the biggest worry in the world. I think it's going to be a slight problem if it hits the field. It's not going to cause many issues. It's only really good for one of our mons, and they've got other counters to it anyway, so it's not the end of the world. I don't think Celebi's coming this game, I'm not going to lie. I just don't see it being too good into this matchup, especially not with what we've brought on and the trade we've just made with Ogapon. Next, we have Glastrier. Glastrier is a really fun Pokemon to fight, not at all. Its ability is scary. Chilling Neigh is terrifying, because it is just Moxie on a legendary. That thing in Trick Room set up by either of these two, or potentially even Celebi, could be a major issue. And I mean a major issue. By major issue, I mean that thing gets one Swords Dance up and sweeps half my team. Right off the bat. Seismitoad. I just hope they don't bring it, because it's a pain to deal with. It's more so that my counter to this team is setting up Rain. It's setting up Rain. Sorry about the technical issue there. It's setting up Rain. And this thing has Swift Swim more than likely. I don't think they're going to bring it, but if they do, it could be annoying. Ninetales is going to be coming more than likely because of Hail. It sets up that Hail with Snow Warning. It sets up Aurora Veil, makes their team a whole lot tankier. And if run with the next one, like I think they will, that's going to be a problem. Which is why we think that's going to be their lead this time. Which is why we're going into something else that can better deal with Ninetales. Next, we've got the stupid Sandslash. This Sandslash is such an issue. This thing can't tank a special move, but if Snow is up, it will outspeed and one-shot a lot of things in my team. Yeah, there's still things that it won't outspeed, especially if Tailwind is up. Tailwind is up, this thing is dead on arrival. We've got so much coverage to kill this thing, it is ridiculous. Their type chart defensively is not very good, especially against rock and fighting. So we'll just move on to the next mon. Center Scorch, as you can see by how small it is, it's probably not coming to this game. It's not an issue. I kind of hope it's coming so I can kill it, because I don't really care much for it. It's not going to be an issue. It's just going to be there to potentially Fire Lash things, like it did in Week 2. Next, we have got Cutiefly. You might be thinking, why are they running Cutiefly? Not a good mon. Surprisingly, the 5th best Sticky Web setter in the game. It's fast, Eviolite lets it tank more hits, it can get dual screens up, it's a very annoying mon in general. It's just going to cause slight problems, I think. And there's a very good chance they bring it as a potential lead. If they're not leading with Ninetales or Porygon, or potentially the Glow King, they will 100% be leading with Cutiefly. It will be one of those 3 leading. I am 100% sure it will be those 4. I don't think they're leading with an offensive threat. I don't see why they would. We've got a counter for Sticky Webs though, so it's okay. We should probably have brought another counter to screens, but I don't see a need, because we're planning on killing things before they get much screens up. Now we'll move on to the next slide, which is the notes from the previous battle. Volcanion using Substitute in first battle, Porygon using Teleport so it can't be trapped, because Big Salty Sea was trapping them with Infestation on Toxapex. Unsurprising at all. I've known this man for a little bit of time, and he loves his stall. Sword Dance Pinsir, that thing has come to both games and is very, very menacing. Aurora Veil Ninetales has come to both games. I think it's a very solid lead. It's probably coming. Eviolite Porygon, if you don't know Eviolite Porygon, you clearly haven't played enough competitive. Trick Room Porygon is probably coming to this game because of the reasons I described earlier. There was a game where Calm Mind was used to sweep a little bit with Ninetales. It only killed one mon, but that's because they had a good counter to it. And Quick Attack on Pinsir could be a very big issue, but I don't think it's going to score too many kills because we've got a lot of resisting. So now we are going to move on to our Pokemon that we're bringing to this match, what we're actually using in this game. Ace, the Ogapon, will be coming to Week 1, making its debut. As you can see by its crown, It's doing a lot of stuff this game. It is very much so our win condition. With Swords Dance, Ivy Cudgel, Seed Bomb, and Knockoff, this thing can literally kill anything on their team. It has super effective damage against every member of their team. It is such a big threat going into them. This thing will cause them major issues. Like, this thing's speed is nothing to sneeze at. Its attack stats ridiculous. Its mass powers up. It powers it up with Ivy Cudgel doing extra damage. Its potential sweeper / win condition, obviously, like I said, can kill anything. This thing's going to be a menace. It hits the field, sets up one Sword Dance, the game just ends right there and then. If Tailwind's up, this thing just comes in and one-shots everything. The only thing that could be an issue is that Glacier because it's a physical tank. But with a Sword Dance up, we should still kill with Ivy Cudgel, unless it's maxed in defense and HP, which I doubt. Next, we're bringing Zoro for his debut, despite us drafting him in week 1. He's bringing his Sacred Sword, Iron Head, Stone Edge, X Scissor with Expert Belt. It has a super effective move for everything except Glow King and Seismitoad, which it didn't have anyway. This is the best set we could bring. Justified's probably not doing anything. Expert Belt is very useful. Its attack's really good. Its speed's really good. As long as Trick Room is not up, this thing's going to be a problem for my opponent. Plus, this thing deals with a lot of weaknesses we've got. Being its steel typing, its fighting typing helps pretty well with coverage. Plus, if Porygon's on the field, Sacred Sword should just obliterate it, especially with Expert Belt. Next, we've got Enel. Enel is probably our lead to set up Tailwind and Volt Switch. If Wind Power goes up, which it will, we'll just click Tailwind to boost Wind Power. If there is something annoying on the field, I'll probably click Electro Ball and then Volt Switch, because Electro Ball will do so much damage. Like, it is ridiculous. We're running Yachi Berry in case they do decide to leave Glastrial, or they go into Glastrial for whatever reason. So we can just kill it with Electro Ball. We should be okay with this lead 90% of the time. If they are leading with Alolan Ninetales, that could be annoying, but not the end of the world. We're running 252 HP, 252 plus speed. We're running full special attack, though. We're mainly just going to be using this thing as a pivot to keep setting up Tailwind throughout the match, and it's a potential sack later in the game that could save us the game. I think this thing could come into play, but I don't think it's doing as much work as in week 2. Next up, we've got Pearl also making their debut, being Wartortle, who we subbed in for Basculin at the end of week 1. This thing is purely here to just get rid of those sticky webs. It's a flip turn mon, it's fun. Rain Dance is going to be huge, and so will Haze, because Rain Dance will make it so we can get rid of that snow, and Haze is specifically here for Pinsir and Ninetales, which is huge for us. I do think this thing could have been wearing a crown. It was between this and another mon later on at what was wearing the other crown. We're running Rain Dish so that if we get Rain Dance up, we can get some extra healing in. Eviolite, because why would we not run Eviolite on this thing? It is always running Eviolite. It's also bringing a lot of defensive stuff. I was planning on running Scald initially, but I need these moves. It eliminates Hail, its stat buffs on Pinsir, go bye-bye. It should tank a hit from Pinsir at +2. +3 is a different story, because obviously it's a Mega Pinsir. That thing's doing a lot of damage. But Pearl should be able to do a lot of work here and just generally cause them issues. Nami is next up. This is the mon I was saying works in Trick Room. Like I said, probably not going to be the biggest threat in the world. We're ringing Meteor Beam Power Herbs out like we did in week 1. But this time it goes into their team a lot better. They've got a huge rock weakness, and by that I mean 5 or 6 members of their team are weak to rock. Like, a majority of their team is weak to rock. It is ridiculous. Body Press is just here to deal with Porygon. Earth Power, it deals with a few threats, like Volcanion, namely Glow King. It's gonna cause them problems. And Power Gem is just a backup rock move when we've used Meteor Beam. I would like to point out that Alolan Sandslash, if it is dead, then we can just click Meteor Beam and sweep. If Alolan Sandslash is still alive and they decide to switch it in, hard switch it in against the Meteor Beam, it will die to the Meteor Beam. That is not a question, and we will be clicking it the second this thing hits the field. It's got 128 in the defenses, 252 special attack, and minus speed. Specifically for Trick Room going up, this thing can be an issue for my opponent as long as Tailwind is not up. Finally, we've got Mega Absol Emu coming in as our last mon today. You might think, why are they running a crown on Mega Absol? It's a Mega Absol. It's an Absol. That's weak. Surprisingly, Mega Absol does a lot into their team. Close combat, knockoff, Stone Edge, Iron Tail. I can pick up a kill on literally any mon on the field other than Mega Pinsir. Which, if Mega Pinsir's not set up, we will Oko it with Stone Edge, and we will outspeed with 252 plus special attack speed. We've got a lot of physical attack as well, and we are running Justified to begin with, just in case we manage to switch it in on like a Sucker Punch or something. Doubt it's going to proc, but who cares. Super Luck is probably going to be what we're running. Maybe we get a lucky crit with Super Luck, Stone Edge. It could cause major issues. I think Emu and Ace are the two Pokemon to look out for, which is funny because those two hate each other in One Piece. But I do think Absol could be big in this game. It specifically deals with Ninetales late game with Iron Tail. It's going to be a threat. If this thing hits the field, it's going to cause problems for my opponent. I had another tournament match the other day, and Ninetales has won 2 games for me in a row. Easily. It's very, very good. Mega Ninetales. Not Mega Ninetales, sorry. Mega Absol is hella underrated. Do not underestimate this thing. That will be all from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a bit longer than we normally do, but it's fun anyway. So we'll see you in week 3. Hopefully we get another matchup like we did in week 2 where we win, and hopefully not another week 1 situation where we end up losing. We are currently 7th place in the tournament so far. Not the best, but it's not the worst either. Our differential's not that high, so that's not surprising. We've got a literal +0. We've survived with 2, and they've survived with 2. So it's not surprising. I'm hoping to pick up quite the differential this game. So I'll see you next week, guys. Goodbye.